Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here. So today I'm going to be talking about the 100K check. Now everyone's going to be like, okay, 100K check. I guess you do that at 100 kilometers. I don't know what that converts to in miles, but at the 100K check, what you should be doing is basically going through a lot of your engine and a lot of your components just to make sure that they've been pretty good for the last 100 kilometers and that they're going to last another 100 kilometers or longer. Now, things you're going to have to check out are, of course, belts like this. If you have a timing belt, you're going to want to probably do your timing belt or look to doing it in the near future because you don't usually want them to go past 130,000 kilometers. That's like the bare maximum. If a timing belt goes, your engine's pretty much pooched, so you don't want to have your timing belt go. So that's, of course, the biggest thing that you want to be checking on your 100K. Other belts like these, you can always check, look for stray fibers or worn signs. And then if you flip it over, can't really show you here, but if you check the teeth, check for cracking along the lines, what I like to call the railroad tracks. Check for cracks. If you see cracks, it's time to replace that belt. So definitely check your belts. You can always check your pipes. Make sure that your pipes still have some bend to them. If they're really stiff, that's very bad. Like if they're, well, some pipes in your engine bay are going to be metal or really tough. But like heater lines and radiator and stuff like that, if you squish it and they're completely tough, it could be on the risk of cracking. Again, you don't need to change them. These are just things to keep in the back of your mind. The things you are going to want to check is your radiator fluid that color green? If not, you can change your radiator fluid. I'll post a link here if you have a Mazda 3. It shows you how to change your radiator fluid. The next thing that you're going to want to do is pull a plug. It's really easy. On these, I have a spark plug changing video also for the Mazda. I'll post the spark plug video here. It'll be in a little bubble. Again, if you're going to be doing anything, pull a plug, check the color at the bottom of the plug, check. At 100K, if you haven't changed your plugs yet, even if they're iridiums, I think every 100K you should swap them out. It's a really good thing to do, and in the end, you might gain a little bit of performance. It's also a good thing because now you can take a flashlight, look down the cylinder, and see how your cylinder walls are doing. Again, that's another thing for you, and then you can also look at the top of the piston head if you really like to. Also, make sure you check all four of the coils. A lot of people only check the one, which you can do, but if you're down, if you're already unbolting 1, 2, 3, or 4, you might as well just do all 4, because then you can check and make sure there's no leaking going on into the boot, because you don't want, if the boot's leaking for each coil, it's going to wreck it, or it'll slowly rust out everything and rust out the plug, and then it becomes really troublesome to remove that plug, trust me. So if I were you, that's one thing that I would look at. The next thing, of course, check your air filter. You should be doing that every oil change, but again, if you've checked your air filter, it's a good thing to check it. If you haven't done your cabin, and that, again, I have a video on, I'll post it right here. The next one that you're going to want to do is, of course, your cabin air filter. If you haven't done that, it's another good one to do if you have never done it, because the cabin air filter, of course, filters out everything that's going into the cabin, and if you're going into winter or something like that, having something fresh in there, will be a lot better. And who knows, if your car reeks right now, or really, it's really stinky, that might fix a lot of problems with the stink, just because sometimes crap gets built up in there. Next thing would be, you could probably, if you've never done it, check your brake fluid, do a bit of a brake flush, and also check your brake pads. Again, that one's not really necessary. It kind of goes along the line of taking a ruler or going along your tire and looking for, on each tire, you should have it'll be like a little nub, and that little nub will tell you how much meat you have left on your tire. That's always a good thing to check. If you've never cleaned your throttle body, this is another good thing to do at your 100K, because if you haven't cleaned it the last 100K, it's going to probably be gummed up with a lot of carbon and other things. So if I were you, I've got another video right here on how to clean your throttle body. I'll post that right here, and then you can clean out your throttle body. Another good thing to do. And then, let's see here. oil changes. You could always look at doing your power steering. Again, I have another video on power steering. It'll be right here. Go check it out. Power steering's another good one to do. When I did mine, it smelled really burned. Of course, I had another owner before mine. I don't know how they abused the power steering, if they're always, you know, jamming it to the left or jamming it to the right. If you have power steering, well, pretty much all vehicles do, make sure if you're jamming it, like turning it all the way and you hear that grinding noise, it's never a good thing. So you should stop, or at maximum, if you're going to have it at full tilt, even if it's not grinding, don't do it for more than 5 seconds. Otherwise the pump will heat up, which is really bad. And then let's see here, just kind of, your transmission. Check your transmission fluid. If your transmission fluid's going, again, have another video. Sorry if I'm plugging all these videos. I'm just trying to make it easier if you guys want to switch out all these different fluids on your vehicle. Now, another thing for the Mazda 3 owners is with the Mazda 3, they use a timing chain. They don't use a timing belt. So doing the swap over, I've never done it yet, so I can't really tell you how. But that's just because on all the forums that I've been reading on, they say you can go about 200 K or 200,000 kilometers before you have to do your timing chain on these things. So I might look at doing mine soon. Also, if you're a Mazda 3 owner, your engine mount. I'm serious. You'll have a mount right here. It won't look like this. It'll be a different one. Take your finger, try and poke it. If your finger goes right through the mount, that rubber grommet piece, it's done. And the bottom of the transmission one goes pretty quickly. Mine was still right, the one that was on the bottom of the transmission, but the one up here was completely fried. Again, you might want to look at that. They usually actually go every like 30,000 kilometers. They don't have a big life expectancy just because they blow, you know, the engine. They were saying that that's one of the poorest designs on the Mazda's part, is that engine mount. And the cabin air filter, because it's really crazy. If you want to see how to change his engine mount, I'll post a video right here. Other than that, I mean, we got our radiator covered, and we have our oil change you're going to be doing every 5,000 kilometers, so that's fine. Spark plugs, and then tires is one to check, your air filter, your throttle. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. It's just going through all the stuff. If you want a truck, you're probably going to want to go through, get yourself a ball joint lubing gun, and then go and grease up all your ball joints on the bottom. Just, you know, most guys already know how to do a lot of this. I'm just giving you some things to think about and go off a checklist, because in the end, every 100K you want to go and get all those things that you missed throughout, you know, the last 100 kilometers that you should have already done. Like, you should have already done a lot of this, but now it's time to play catch up if you haven't, and it's better to catch up now than later. But yeah, other than that, like I said, flushing your brakes is another good one. Alright, thanks again for watching, guys. If you have any questions, be sure to post them in the comment section below. I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. Other than that, have a great day. And thanks again for watching. Like the video if you found it helped you out. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing other videos. Peace.